that Pali overview discussion, I was showing you images of
So this is an original palm leaf, but in Thai language. It's Pali. So you read it, let me see. You open it like that, and you start reading it like this way. After reading that, you go to the next page like that.
It's a palm leaf?
It's a palm leaf. This is an original palm leaf. You see, there's wear and tear, just broken. These are the numbers, and you can see actual lines here. There's no word breakers. There are some. So those who know this Thai script can read whatever this is. Of course, you can now take a picture of this and ask ChatGPT to read it for you. So it has these hard shells that is the cover, and people have different paintings on them, giving so much value to the original book. So they have all the drawings they did on the palm leaf. It was a fully developed writing tradition in the world. And the British Museum has a collection of these that they looted from these countries. And India and Sri Lanka are demanding these, Now, I think it's because they did what they did, they are preserved in the world. Otherwise, they get destroyed because of all the political turmoil in those parts of the world. But for us to go read them, we now have to take their permission. So that's thank you for putting this here. This is an original palm leaf manuscript. So for today, we will discuss the Bahiya Sutta. Bahiya is this person who was a sailor. He did business in other countries, and he came back, but this time he got shipwrecked, and he somehow he was the sole survivor, and he survived using this piece of wood that may have been a makeshift floating something that helped him survive, and he made it to this remote South Indian village called Suparaka. But he had nothing left he had nothing, with no clothes, and he just didn't know what to do. But he was so hungry, so he covered himself using what he found from the nature, like tree barks, pieces of leaves, and like banana leaves or stuff that he could put together quickly, and he covered himself. And then he went to the village asking for some food, and people immediately thought this is a very, very simple recluse. So they began, admiring him, and the word spread, and they looked after him after that. And I think the shock of his survival also affected his mind, and he thought, okay, I'm going to remain like a recluse here, receiving all the support. And the more respect he began receiving, the more he thought that I must be a recluse. Recluses must be like this. So he began thinking, I must behave in such a way that a recluse behaves, like with a conduct suitable to a recluse. So this is this is that story. In a previous life, his karma shows in different commentarial stories. One time he was among these 7 monks who climbed up a rock using a ladder, and they tossed the ladder, and they were strongly determined to meditate. And the senior monk among them became an arahant, and the second senior monk became a non-returner, and the other 5 died of starvation and was born in heaven, and Bahiya was among them. So Bahiya, and then Pukkusati, the king, Dabbamalla, and then Sabhiya. They were these remaining 5. So it shows that they were among those who had strong determination to learn and realize nibbāna. So the other story connected with them is that Bahiya and Tambadatika is the person. What's his name? What's the word they use for someone who beheads other people? It's like a executioner, the public executioner. Thank you, Nat. So he was a person of that type. And Suppabuddha, a king, and Pukkusati, another king. His name also is found. So they were together with Bahiya in that life when they did the meditations at the Kassapa Buddha's time, one of the previous Buddha's time. But in this case, Bahiya, Tambadatika, Suppabuddha and Pukkusati, they were friends who promised some jewelry and gold to this girl, this beautiful girl, and they brought her to this park and indulged with her, but they didn't give the promised jewelry. And when she demanded it, they killed her. As she was dying, she said, I'll come after you guys. That's her last resort. So much anger. I'll come after you guys. So she did. She became an ogress. And every time she had an opportunity, she would find them and she would kill them. This birth, Bahiya got into this was his last birth. He became enlightened, but that karma was strong, and at the end of this discourse, you will find that Bahiya goes to find a set of robes for his ordination and a bowl, and he got killed by a cow. And that cow is possessed by this ogress. The cow had a calf, so the calf, I think, needs to be protected, but the cow, I'm sure the cow got startled seeing a guy with that kind of a dress. And the deeper story is that the cow got actually possessed and needed to take that final revenge from this guy, and it had to kill him. Otherwise, the cows sometimes can attack you, like in Asia. It's a common sight. there are many stray cows in Sri Lanka, India, and they can get aggressive sometimes. They don't like red color in the middle of the night, so people try not to wear red color and walk alone. In the middle of the day, not night. So they get frightened seeing that. Anyway, cows are also in their lives. It's sad that they get stolen by people, and they are sold to slaughterhouses for meat. So there is a tradition of rescuing them, especially during the Buddha's birth and enlightenment and passing away, that month of May. So there is a huge price set for different cows. Cows with a calf, get sold for sometimes like 80,000 rupees. That's roughly around $200. It can be even more. Anyway, so that's the way that when they are roaming like that, they get stolen, or they can be stolen from your property at night and loaded to a truck and killed. So we are learning from the Bahiya Sutta today. It's not about cows. It's about this person whose teachings I think you are ready to hear, the teachings given to him. I like to read this with Pali also, Pali and English. Let's do that. It's a short discourse and we have time. Evang me sutang, so I have heard, ekang samayang, at one time, Bhagava, the Blessed One, Savathyang viharati, lives in Savatthi, Jetavane, in the Jeta's grove, Anathapindikassa Arami, in the monastery built by Anathapindika. Tatra Tenakopana Samena, at that time, Bahiyo Daruchiryo, Bahiya of the bark cloth, Supparake Pativasati, was residing by Supparaka, Samudda Tire, on the ocean shore, Sakkato, Garukato, Manito, Pujito, Apachito, honored, respected, revered, venerated, and esteemed. Chīvara Pindapāta Senāsana Gilāna Pacchaya Behisajja Parikharanang. He received robes, alms food, lodgings, and medicines and supplies for the sick. If he needed medicine, they were also supplied. Atako Bahiyasa Daruchiryasa, then to Bahiya Daruchirya, Rahogatasa Patisallinasa, when he was in seclusion, alone. Evan Chetaso Parivitakko Udapadi, this thought occurred to him. Yeko Kechi Loke Arahantova Arahanta Maggangva Samapanna Ahang Tesang Anya Taroti. I must be one of those in the world who are an Arahant, or on the path to becoming an Arahant. Atako Bahiyasa Daruchiryasa Purana Salohita Devata Anukampika Atthakama Bahiyasa Daruchiryasa Chetasa Cheto Parivitakka Manyaya Yena Bahiyo Daruchiryo Upasankamitva Bahiyan Daruchiryang Etadavocha. Then a deity who was a former relative of Bahiya, having sympathy and wanting what is best for him, approached him and said, Nevako tvang Bahiya Araha Napi Arahatta Maggangva Samapanno. Bahiya, you are not an Arahant, nor you are on the path to becoming one. Sapite Patipada Natti Ya Yaya tvang arahava assa arahatta maggangva samapannoti. You don't have the practice by which you might become an arahant or one on the path to becoming an arahant. Very nice friendship here, right? Telling the truth directly. So he asks this question. Who then are those in the world who are perfected or on the path to perfection? Atake charahi sadevake loke arahato va arahatta maggangva samapannati. Then the deity says, in the northern lands there is a city named Savatthi. Atti Bahiya Uttaresu Janapadesu Savatthi Nama Nagarang. There that blessed one is now staying. He is perfected and fully awakened. Tattaso bhagava etarahi viharati arahang samma sambuddho. Sohi bahya bhagava araha cheva arahattaya cha dhamman deseti. He is perfected and he can teach the Dhamma to become an arahant. He is an arahant, he can teach the Dhamma to become an arahant. Impelled by that deity, Bahiya left Supparaka right away. Atako Bahyo Daruchiryo Taya Devataya Sangvejito Tavadeva Suparakamha Pakkami. Sojourning no more than a single night in any place, he made his way to Anathapindika's monastery in the Jetas grove at Savatthi. Sabbatta ekaratti parivasena yena Savatthi Jetavanang Anathapindikassa aramo tenupasankami. At that time, several monks were walking mindfully in the open space. Tenukopana samena sambahula bhikkhu abhokase chankamanti. Bahiya approached them and said, Bahyo daruchiryo yena te bhikkhu tenupasankami upasankamitva te bhikkhu etadavocha. Venerables, where is the Blessed One at present, the Arahant, the fully awakened Samma Sambuddha? Kahannukoho bhante etarahi bhagava viharati arahang Samma Sambuddho. I want to see him. Dassana kamam ha mayang tang bhagavantang arahantan Samma Sambuddhanti. He has entered an inhabited area for alms food, Bahiya. Antara garang pavitto ko Bahiya bhagava pindayati. Then Bahiya rushed out of the monastery and entered Savatthi, where he saw the Buddha walking for alms. He was impressive and inspiring, with peaceful faculties and heart, attained to the highest self-control and serenity, like an elephant with tamed, guarded and controlled faculties. Hatako bahyo daruchiryo taramana rupo jetavana nikhamitva savatthing pavisitva addasa bhagavantang savathyang pindaya charantang pasadikang pasadaniyang santindriyang santamanasang uttama dhammatha samatha manupattang dantang guttang yatindriyang nagang. Bahiya went up to the Buddha, bowed down with his head at the Buddha's feet and said, Disvana yena bhagavatena upasankamitva bhagavato pade sirasa nipatitva bhagavantang etadavocha. Sir, Venerable Sir, let the Blessed One teach me the Dhamma. Let the Holy One teach me the Dhamma. Desetu me bhante bhagava dhammang, desetu sugato dhammang. That would be for my lasting welfare and happiness. Yang mamassa dhīgarattang hitaya sukhayati. The Buddha said this. Evang vutte bhagavato bhahyam daruchiryang etadavocha. It's not the time, Bahiya. So long as I have entered an inhabited area for alms food, akalok ho tava Bahiya antara gharang pavittamha pindayati. For a second time, Bahiya said, Dutiyampikho Bahiyo daruchiryo bhagavantang etadavocha. But you never know, Venerable Sir, when life is at risk, either your life or mine. Dujjanang kho panetang bhante bhagavato va jivitantarayang maihang va jivitantarayang. Let the Blessed One teach me the Dhamma. Let the Holy One teach me the Dhamma. Desetu me bhante bhagava dhammang. That would be for my lasting welfare and happiness. Yang mamassa digharatang hitaya sukhayati. For a second time, the Blessed One said, it's not the time, Bahiya, so long as I have entered an inhabited area for alms food. Dutiyampiko bhagava Bahyan daruchiryang etadavocha akalokho tava Bahiya antara gharang pavittamha pindayati. For a third time, Bahiya said, Tatyampiko Bahyo daruchiryo bhagavantang etadavocha. But you never know, Venerable Sir, when life is at risk, either the Blessed One's life or my own. Dujjanang ko panetam bhante bhagavato va jivitantarayang maihang va jivitantarayang. Let the Blessed One teach me the Dhamma. Desetu me bhante bhagavad dhammang. That would be for my lasting welfare and happiness. Yang mamasa digharatang hitaya sukhayati. In that case, Bahiya, so now the Buddha stops for a moment and understands the urgency and realizes that he only has a few hours to live. He can tell. With that knowledge in mind, so when he says tasmatiha, in that case, he's implying that. In that case, Bahiya, you should train like this. Tasmatiha Bahiya evang sikkhitabang. So this is the shortest teaching given to anyone. And that was all he needed to hear. And he became an arahant. This is why I'm reading it in Pali. This phrase should be known in Pali also. And it's a famous phrase. In the scene will be merely the seen. In the heard will be merely the heard. In the thought will be merely the thought. In the known will be merely the known. Ditte dittamattang bhavisati. Sute sutamattang bhavisati. Mute mutamattang bhavisati. Viññāte viññātamattang bhavisati. So you have ditte, the seeing part, and then sute, hearing part, and then you have viññāte, the cognizing part. Then in the mute part, in the part where it is felt, that includes the nasal activities and tasting. So smelling and tasting and physical sensations. So that's the felt part that is kind of condensed into that one word in the part where it is felt. That is how you should train. Evang hite Bahiya sikkhitabang. So what does it mean when it says in the scene there will be the scene only? That there is no person in it. We are the ones adding so much into this experience because of our delusion. I am seeing, I am the experiencer, I will be experiencing. That is putting everything into a time, to a person, and that I think is that stops at the time when one experiences cessation. Time stops, activities stops. Bodily, mental, verbal activities, verbalizations, everything stops. And you emerge from that to know the truth about the discontinuation of the continuation. Does that make any sense? And there you have the deepest relief and the wisdom to realize that, oh, I thought this is myself. How come myself was no more in that state? And then you continue to have that wisdom, and no one else can convince you otherwise, because you have now seen and known through your own experience the truth about cessation. So this is this person, Bahiya, is a very, very wise person. He must have had many hours of meditations, many TWIM retreats done before coming to meeting the Buddha. He was quite ready. This is all he needed to hear. That is how you should train. Evaṃ hite bāhiya sikkhitabbaṃ. And then there is a little more added. When you have trained in this way, you won't be by that. So by that, it's like arising of the seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, physical sensations and thinking. You see the causes and conditions, and their arising is seen, and you are not seeing you in it. Just like in the 6 sets of 6. And when you are not by that, you won't be in that. In what is arisen, like contact, you don't see you in it. You don't see a person in it. When you are not in that, you won't be in this life, in this life or in the next or between the two. So there is no way that you will see this same you continuing with that false view of a self into a future existence, wherein you have the proper wisdom to see the arising and cessation and not seeing a false view of a self in it. So you won't be asking questions like, will I be a princess next lifetime? There is no such thing that you can build in mind. The idea here also is the idea of like no same person walks into the same river twice. It's because continuous changing of the person and the river. But in our mind we see a river continuous flowing, but it changes instantly. The person too. We are rivers continuously flowing, and the river does the same, going toward the ocean. Just this is the end of suffering. Esevanto dukkhassati. So the Pali is that yatoko te bahiya ditte ditta mattang bhavisyati sute sutta mattang bhavisyati mute mutta mattang bhavisyati viññāte viññāta mattang bhavisyati tato tvang bahiya natena yato tvang bahiya natena tato tvang bahiya natatta yato tvang bahiya natatta tato tvang bahiya nevidha nahurang na ubhaya mantarena esevanto dukkhassati. Then, due to this brief Dhamma teaching of the Buddha, Bahiya's mind was right away freed from defilements by not grasping. So you can see this person who has no possession, no family, no attachment whatsoever, only longing for just this meeting with the teacher, the Buddha, and wanting to listen to the true teachings and to become an arahant. That's all he needed. That was, and he got it, he understood it, and his mind was immediately freed from defilements. Atako bahiyassa daruchiriyassa bhagavato imaya sankittaya dhamma desanaya tavadeva anupadaya asavehi chittang vimucci. Anupadaya, with no clinging whatsoever. That means he did not see the need to continue being reborn in a future existence in heaven, going back to his blood relative deity from that heavenly existence, or to a higher realm of existence, or to unite with some kind of mind-made union of the divine, or anything of that kind was not needed in his mind. He was liberated. Then the Buddha wandered for alms in Savatthi. Atako bhagava Savatyam pindaya charitva. After the meal, Pachabhattang, on his return from alms round, Pindapata Patikkanto, he exited the city together with several mendicants. Sambahulehi bhikkhuhi saddhin nagaramha nikkamitva, and so the Bahiya had passed away. Oh, I missed one sentence. But soon after and when the Buddha had given Bahiya this brief advice, he left. Atako bhagava bahiyang daruchiriyang imina sankitte novade novaditva pakkami. But soon after the Buddha had left, Atako achirapakkantas bhagavato, a cow with a baby calf, bahiyang baby calf, gavi taruna vacha, charged at Bahiya and took his life. Bahiyam daruchiriyang adhipatitva jivita voro pesi. He was killed. And so that Bahiya had passed away. Bahiyam daruchiriyang kalang katang. So the Pali for passed away is kalang katang. Time is done. Kalang is for time. Katang is done. When a person reaches arahanthood, katang karaniyang, what has to be done has been done. Then in the Metta Sutta you see karaniya, what should be done, like radiating loving kindness. So these words are found in different places. Having seen Bahiya Daruchirya, he said this to the monks: Disvana bhikkhu amantesi. Monks, pick up Bahiya's body. Having lifted it onto a cart and carried it, cremate it and build a stupa, monument. Ganheta bhikkhave, sorry I mixed up English into it. Ganheta bhikkhave Bahiyasa daruchiryasa sarirakang manchakang aropetva niharitva jahapetha tupan chassa karotha. So thupa is the Pali word for stupa. Stupa is the Sanskrit and Sinhala is also Pali, I think. Pali has both. Mendicants, monks, one of your spiritual companions has passed away. So accept him as one of yours. Sabrahmachari vo bhikkhave kalang katoti. Yes, sir, replied those monks. Evang bhanteti kote bhikkhu bhagavato patisutva. They did as the Buddha asked. Bahiyassa daruchiryasa sarirakang manchakang aropetva niharitva jahapetva tupanchassa katva yena bhagava tenupasankamisu. Then returned to the Buddha. Upasankamitva, having returned, Bhagavantang abhivadetva, having bowed down to the Blessed One, ekamantang nisidinsu. They sat on one side. Ekamantang nisinna kote bhikkhu, having sat on one side, those monks, Bhagavantang etadavochung, told this to the Blessed One. Daddhang bhante bahyasa daruchiryasa sarirang. Venerable Sir, we cremated Bahiya's body. Tupo chasa kato. A stupa also was built for him. Tassa ka gati. Where has been reborn abhisamparayoti in his next life? What do you think would be the answer for this question? Right. Wrong question, right? Parinibbito bhikkhave bahyo daruchiryo. Bahya of the bark cloth has become fully quenched. Parinibbito, fully unbounded, fully quenched. Atako Bhagava, then the Blessed One, etamattang viditva, understanding this matter, tayang velayang, on that occasion, imang udanang udanesi, expressed this heartfelt joy. So this sutta is found in one of the 15 books of the Khuddaka Nikaya, like long discourses, middle-length discourses, connected discourses, numerical discourses, and the last collection has the biggest number of books, the minor collection. Although it is called minor collection, it has these 15 books like the joyful utterances that we are reading today, and it has many beautiful discourses like dependent origination, how the Buddha became enlightened and the joy he expressed after his enlightenment, and how he realized the dependent origination and the arising phenomena, cessation phenomena. So this part is this whole collection is very, very beautiful. You find Metta Sutta in the discourse on establishing loving kindness in the first book of this, among the 15 books. Not the first book, actually, third one, Sutta Nipāta, collection of suttas. So these must have been like books that monks composed together and kept together for their practice, for their monastery, like the most important ones. Especially in these suttas, in the Sutta Nipāta, you find old language of Pali. So you see, during a span of 80 years of lifetime of the Buddha, language can evolve. So the oldest teachings can be found in the Sutta Nipāta collection. And the verses of elders, Theragatha, verses of elder nuns, Therigatha, Jatakas, and the biographies like Apadana and Dhammapada, words of Dhamma that you read every day. All of it is found in this collection. So Udana is in it. Petavattu, the stories of the hungry ghosts. Vimanavattu, heavenly planes, and how did they enter heaven? Like how did they reappear in heaven? What karma they did to be reborn in heaven? So these stories are found in there. So the joy that the Buddha felt is a kind of a puzzle expressed, where water and earth, fire and air have no footing. There no star does shine, nor does the sun shed its light. There the moon glows not, yet no darkness is found. And when a sage, a Brahmin, finds understanding through their own sagacity, is that the word in English? Yeah, sagacity. Then from forms and formless, from pleasure and pain, they are released. What a beautiful way to express nibbāna. This is why we say there's nothing there. Do not seek something. People nowadays in these traditional Buddhist countries, they have this thinking that so when somebody passes away, they put a huge banner printed in big letters. In that they say, may you attain nibbāna. So when they see a Facebook post of someone passing, they would say, may you attain nibbāna. It's impossible. They didn't live a life of that type. So it has become a cultural thing. They only, they don't know what to say. They say this. The deeper meaning of it is to be seen. It's not a thing that you attain when somebody dies. That's how people want to postpone it. So I think we read that here. Appamado amata padang, pamado macchuno padang, appamatta nami anti yepamatta nata yathamata. So appamado amata padang. So heedfulness is the path to the deathless, to nirvana, to amata, like ambrosia. Pamado macchuno padang. Heedlessness is like the path to the evil one, to the death. So you continue to being reborn and dying again and again. Appamatta namiyanti. Those who are heedful, they never die. That means when they attain nibbāna, they are done. Ye pamatta, those who are heedless, yathamata, they are like already dead. That means those who postpone their awakening to a later time, they are alive, but they are dead. They don't use this human birth as an opportunity for awakening. So in Dharma, human birth is one of the rarest births. Very, very fortunate of us to be born as a human being, because we don't, there's a lot of unseen happening in our human experience. We don't value it very much, but we can lose it any time. So this is the time to strive hard and be diligent and develop the practice, TWIM practice properly, tranquility, wisdom, insight, and realize nibbāna here and now. So the Pali is yatta apocha patavi tejo vayo nagadhati na tatta sukha jotanti adiccho nappakasati na tatta chandima bhati tamo tattha na vijjati yadacha attana vedi muni monena brāhmaṇo atarupa arupacha sukha dukkha pamucchati. See, beautifully it says sukha and dukkha, from both pleasure like happiness and pain, pamucchati, one is freed. So if somebody asks, is happiness the goal, you will have to say, not really. You say, wisdom, equanimity and wisdom can be the goal. Really perfecting in virtues, perfecting in your collectedness of mind, and perfecting in wisdom is the goal. And from forms and formless, not in form realms, not in formless realms, one sets the mind. One is unbound from all those places. So someone who develops a mastery of the jhanas can be attached to them because of the pleasure they experience. The tradition holds the view that when someone has practiced the jhanas and not practiced anything beyond the jhanas, because that jhana that they developed is the most profound experience their mind had. When they die, the mind may know and create conditions in such a way that they reappear in a plane of existence suitable for that jhana. So jhana planes of existence, that is many eons of continuity. And in Sanyutta Nikaya, in connected discourses, you find a monk who reaches non-returner level of letting go and realization. He's quite curious about where he will be reborn. So he wants to wait until then. And he reports that to the Buddha. And the Buddha tells him, take a bit of feces. Whether it is a little or too much, it smells bad. So in other words, existence, bhava, some kind of habitual tendencies, whether it is little defilements left or too much defilements, it's still defilements. Work on it, strive diligently, don't wait, be done. Because he saw the full scope of all types of existences and their continuities and almost like timelessness, like eons of existence, and he did not see any need of a mind construct to that level. All of it is impermanent. So Bahiya understood it. So nibbāna that way is not found in a star, in a planet, in a different plane of existence. It's an unconstruct, asankata, and it has to be realized now, seen now. So you have one more day for that. In this retreat, one more day to work. Okay, so happy meditation. Let's share merit. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.